Do you remember these empty events in the past years? Well, guess what? An event like that finally happened in my country, and the worst part is, it involved my #1 top favorite franchise of all time. Okay, so before I start sharing my experience, I would just like to put it out there that this is not meant to throw hate on the organizers. And it's really just to document my experience because, duh, we're gonna talk about Pokemon. So to start, around March or April of this year, I found out about this event when a mutual shared their Instagram story of their ticket for a Pokemon event. And being the Pokemon fan that I was, I immediately searched for the Facebook page of this event because I thought that this was the same Pokemon event named PokeCon that happened last 2023, and they're now selling tickets. Well, I just assumed it was that event. So anyways, lo and behold, this event's name is Pokeverse 2024 and is not affiliated with PokeCon 2023 at all. But they're inviting the voice actor of Ash from Season 1 to 8 and the singer of the original Pokemon theme song. They're Veronica Taylor and Jason Page. And it's happening in 4 months. So, no questions asked, I'm gonna go to the event because this is a once in a lifetime and no one's gonna stop me. Then I shared it to some of my friends who might be interested even if there weren't any further details yet, but I was just so excited for this big news. And eventually I found a friend. Hi Pat! And we began discussing plans because there was an early bird ticket price, but we're just not sure of the date that we're going yet. Sadly, we did not make it to the early bird, so we decided to wait out on the guests' schedules. We don't want to buy the wrong ticket date, of course. Fast forward to April, I was getting a little bit impatient, so I told Pat that I'll go buy us the day 3 ticket just in case it gets sold out. Because Pokemon is a big franchise and fans would have bought their tickets by now. Then after purchasing, I did not really think about the event that much because I was too preoccupied with other things and we secured the ticket already. Then a few days later, my friend shared with me the schedules, finally. And good news was, we had a chance to see the guest interviews for free. The bad news was, the best days to go were on day 1 and day 2 because there was a Jason Page performance. You could feel my regret knowing that we bought the wrong tickets, but we immediately agreed to just meet on day 3 and go individually on one day. So that schedule conflict was solved. Then again, after the ticket and schedule talks, I didn't really bother to check anything about the event, but I did notice that some local Pokemon artists that I follow on Twitter or X aren't talking about it in my feed. Because I remember they were sharing PokeCon 2023 before, but not this one. Weird. Or they probably weren't showing up on my feed, so okay, let's go back to my boring adult life. And here, Day 1 has finally arrived and I made sure to download the schedules before leaving and to chant, "Veronica, please wait for me, please," for a good day ahead. When I finally arrived at the event, I was kinda surprised there were no people. Or like there was too much space that it feels so empty. Or it was just day 1 and usually Fridays don't get that many attendees anyways. And it's like 1:30 p.m. So people are still in work and school. But anyways, I pressed on. So there's the usual stuff, the sponsored booths, the usual merch booths that I see in anime cons, some unique Pokemon merchants, the TCG area, food stalls, a rest area, the stage which was a bit empty, and my whole excitement dropped when I saw the artist alley that has like 7 tables, and there's a random art gallery behind and some artworks parallel to it that are so far away. And lastly, the meet and greet tables are also so far away with no people in sight, and I guess the guests aren't here yet. Probably. And can I also mention the buzzing speakers that went on the whole day? Like, is no one gonna fix this? But oh my Arceus, why is it like this? What's wrong? Well, I didn't do much except look around the booths and wait for Veronica and Jason's interviews. Because that's why I'm here for. And while I was window shopping, suddenly, I saw Veronica pass by taking pictures with some merchants, and I thought I was so lucky to be near her because I didn't get the VIP. Spoilers, you don't need to. So I rushed to the stage for the interview, and mind you, the interview was late by 30 minutes. But I'm fine with it. Then finally, we have Veronica's long-awaited interview, and I was just in awe that my childhood was right in front of me. Like literally, I was in front. And it was nice hearing her voice acting journey and her favorite Pokemon lines in the flesh. Plus the iconic I choose you in her language.
Manila, Pokeverse, ikaw na! Mahal ko kayo. I think because Ash never expresses his real feelings, but he does love you all.
Yeah, and with that, I felt more inspired than ever to reach for my own dreams too, like her. It was also funny when her segment ended that people rushed to her meet and greet booth. And as for me, since I don't have enough budget to buy her prints, I'm so sorry, I passed. I did say it was fine just seeing her. Next was Jason, and let me tell you, I did not expect how energetic and charismatic he was, and knowing that he actually worked with so many famous people is beyond me. Like, it was truly an honor to be in the presence of a great artist. I also did not expect that I would get his own design TCG and getting a high five from him while he was performing the Pokemon theme song. Like, wow, I had so much fun, like, super thankful for this performance. Like, he was a true showman, a man of performance. Then after the performance, some of the audience went to his booth. While for me, I stayed for a bit to watch the cosplay showcase, and well, I'm glad that there were still cosplayers and they were all so cool. Plus, there was even this cute dog dressed up as Ash. But it still makes me sad, and I'm sorry that I don't have any more colorful vocabulary but sad, because it was just sad as a whole. Like, I know that the Pokemon community in my country is quite big just based on the last Pokemon event that I attended. But here, there wasn't that many, so I was quite concerned actually. But yeah, again, maybe it was just a weekday, so okay.
Think positive!
Now with all the things in my checklist done for day 1, my final thoughts. What happened? I'm not so sure what happened that led to few attendees, but when I got home that day, I checked their page and I saw that they had a bunch of media pages posting about them. So I was really wondering what went wrong with the marketing. But let's face it, who would buy 1,000 pesos or 18 US dollars for a fandom con in this economy? Not after that day where I realized how robbed I felt. Because okay, for context, the most expensive ticket that I've ever known after the pandemic was around 800 pesos or 16 US dollars for one day. And that's because this event had multiple big creator guests, all halls of a convention building used, plus 3 more separate areas. So they had big reasons for charging this much, at least. You may check that story out in my other video right here. After that, I went to rest because I needed it for a K-pop concert tomorrow. So one post-concert depression and morning diarrhea later, I went back to the event with my friend Pat this time. And hopefully it will have more attendees since it was the weekend. Spoiler, it did not. Well, gladly, there were more people than day 1. But they kinda changed the layout, like the photo wall was transferred beside the stage. And then the bean bags in the rest area were now beside the audience chairs. But you know, it was fine for me, I didn't mind, but I'll just say that I was so glad I was with Pat because if not for him, I wouldn't be able to go near Veronica and hug her. We immediately went to Veronica's booth to have Pat's Pikachu Funko Pop signed by her, and according to Pat who went to day 2, the line wasn't really long unlike yesterday. Also, we confirmed with security that it's okay to take photos with her even if you're not buying because she's really that nice. Then when it was our turn, it was so funny that our chat with her daughter was longer than our chat with Veronica. Like, we complimented each other's t-shirts and she shared how jealous she was about people's Pokemon X Uniqlo collabs bought shirts because apparently they don't have those back at home. But between you and me, I actually prefer her shirt than mine because it had Pokemon Special on it. Now it's our time to talk with Veronica, and I was just so glad to have a solo picture with her, plus a group photo doing the JoJo pose. And the hug. Literally an experience of a lifetime, and technically these pictures are my only souvenir after all. We didn't go to Jason's booth because again, I didn't have a lot of money on me and I was so shy to just approach him and not buy anything. So maybe next time, Jason. We hope to see you again, just like how Nurse Joy always says so. Then we went around the booths again, taking pictures, playing the Make-A-Wish game, and stuff. Oh, and we didn't do the trainer questing because we didn't want to be a social media influencer for that day. We didn't stay any longer, so we just left for an arts event. And my diarrhea was acting up again, so we kinda went home early too, sadly. Now that's done, I will say that I am very thankful for meeting Veronica Taylor and Jason Page and for them making my childhood special. While I did have a smoother experience from my very simple agenda, part of my expectations weren't still met as a congoer. So there are already multiple point of views from some individuals, congoers who reviewed the Facebook page, and artists who took their time to share this event, so you may check them out here, specifically these tweets. But as for me, I'll just share a very short message. As a longtime Pokemon fan, I deeply wanted the event to work because it's Pokemon, my #1 all-time favorite. But how can you fully enjoy an event when the price and time to attend said event is not worth the price you paid? And more importantly, where is the community? Hello? If there was one thing that this event taught me is that even if you invited a big guest, if there's no community to support you, plus you're already having problems with handling the vendors, guests, or sponsors behind the scenes, you would know that this is a red flag. So guess what happened? In this day and age, I feel like the #1 way we know about information is through our friends or word of mouth in a very colloquial manner. Like it's not just the fancy schmancy, well-edited commercial video that will get you the people, but the raw and genuine connection from engagements that you built. I could be wrong, okay? But this event kind of proved that for me. Also, since I was following the Pokeverse page, they did share some media posts about the event. But I don't really hear it from the community itself. Maybe it's my feed, my mutuals not sharing about it, or the lack of time for this event to build up a hype, or a combination of those. Like it just wasn't talked about enough to make a buzz. And that's when I realized that you really need ample time to build a community so you can make an event that events, especially if you're starting out. People know Pokemon, yes, but no one knows where this organization and event came from. Literally, who's that Pokemon? Like, people need to have a conversation about an event while having consistent pubs and social media visible, because you need all the support that you can get while also doing your job properly behind the scenes. Like, how can you sell something so good if you don't know your audience, right? So in the end, what could have been nostalgia to experience the magic of childhood, only to be hit by disappointment, will be the death of my fandom life. Well, not really, I'm still here. I get the intention of made by fans, for fans, but it was purely executed for this one. I still hope for more niche events from any fandoms, and I will always hope that people with good intentions and the right skills handle them. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and hit that bell button to get notified of new videos. And also I have a Patreon and Gantt account if you want to see the behind the scenes or like get access to my cosplay photos and other stuff. Thank you for listening to my short Pokemon vlog.